these poles represent are the 7 peacekeepers. Now, they were 7 brothers that travelled across the Sydney area. Each one of these brothers had a special ability. One had the ability to make shields and woomeras. This one here was into bush medicine. This one here had the knowledge of making fire. The glass,
As you know, this is part of a much bigger project. It's called the Crosscurrents project, and we're doing a number of artworks along the Georges River Trail.
Georges River project, it's going to be a European sort of thing, and then you've got our culture.
This project, it's a very positive statement about Aboriginal connection to the region.
We've got these bands here. They represent the river, so the different flows and the ebbs of the river, different junctions.
It's wonderful to see something like this just emerging out of the ground from ideas that Jamie presented to us.
So I'll be using a generator and a heavy-duty drill to actually engrave some of these smoke images and stuff like that. So it's painting, it's sculpture, it's a bit of everything.
It's a place for people to come, to meet, to tell stories, to perform, to sing songs, to just be here.
What we needed to address right from the beginning was a sense of protocols. We need to determine who are the traditional owners here and where do land boundaries lie, what elders we might need to bring in to discuss issues of cultural importance.
Some of the Aboriginal elders don't come from this area, but they've lived here for 40 years, so they claim this as their land now. Their role was to come out and choose a site.
We chose that site because you can feel the sense of your ancestors.
This spot was chosen because it's the highest point. A lot of Aboriginal sites were put on a high point where people could look out and see.
It's important for the project to acknowledge traditional connection to country, but really importantly, the connection that people have today.
The river was very important to the Aboriginal community of the past. The rivers quite often mark boundaries or territories.
My children swam across the river even when there were sharks there.
So the river was very important. It supplied bush tucker. It was a spiritual base.
Jamie was invited to come in and make a presentation to the committee, and I think that the committee was quite impressed right from the start with what he had to offer.
Today we're going to have an official smoking of the land to cleanse it before construction starts.
I'd like to acknowledge the elders of our community. I think it's really great that you've come down and joined us.
I'm just so pleased that we've started this, and I'm very proud to be a black woman, especially in the Bankstown area where we struggle so much, and look how far we've come.
This is what we call the Apo leaf. Whatever happened before the smoke doesn't mean a thing, it's after the smoke. It's a new beginning.
Smoking ceremony is usually done prior to construction starts. And what it is to ward off evil spirits, to announce our presence that we're going to be changing the landscape a little bit.
The smoke follows you across the ground, means you'll be mucking up.
It's a very exciting moment that we're standing here all together. We've had Jamie on board for a while, but today's the actual day when we're on site and we're kind of imagining the space and how it's going to look.
After white settlement, every sign of the Aboriginal people was virtually wiped out, and with doing things like this, there's a permanent stamp on our land.
67 was the referendum when we come out of the Flora and Fauna Act, so I'm 15 years of age before I become a citizen of my own country. But seeing projects like this come together, it's a giant step.
The artwork is based on a traditional parable story that was relayed across the communities. It tells of the 7 peacekeepers. So as they travelled across the land, Their job was to settle disputes. They also had an enemy, which was a wiriwa. That was the traditional enemy of these people that used to cause all the disputes amongst the tribes, which ultimately ended in one big battle where the wiriwari turned into fire, and the 7 brothers, they turned themselves into trees, which the 7 poles represent. The wiriwari tried to burn the brothers and set them on fire, but our native trees, when they catch on fire, is a way of spreading life. For about 2 weeks now I've been out here painting. I've had people come out here in the park and ask me questions. One of the questions I asked them back and I said, can you name me 4 Aboriginal tribes of Australia or the local area? And they wouldn't have a clue, and we had 400 across Australia. We had the 7 peacekeepers here, and they each represent a different eucalyptus tree of the area. And we had the elders in the community come out and plant these trees.
I'll take one of these leaves, okay? Just put it in a book and make a little try out.
I've lived in this area for something like 28 years, and it does give me a great deal of pleasure to see our roots, which are going back into this very earth, and I'm very proud to be part of this tree planting here today.
I'd like this tree to grow nice and strong.
It's created another traditional Aboriginal site, but it's a modern Aboriginal site. Just got to get Uncle Harry now. Anyone else need to put their hands on here?
My ancestors left their mark on the land, and I sort of see it in a similar vein.
Making history today, especially for our children.
We've got from very young children right up to senior and respected Aboriginal people in the area that have put their hand stencils right across here.
To show the young kids of the day that I did my
So I can bring my children here to show them.
My role as a public artist is to achieve reconciliation through public art. So it's bringing Aboriginal people and wider community together.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's certainly a great pleasure to be here on what is a wonderful day.
I'd like to say good morning to everyone. My name's Uncle Greg. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge we're in Dardic land. I'd like to acknowledge my elders past and present.
Crosscurrents is a great example of celebrating community engagement, the environment, heritage and, of course, the beauty of art.
When we take our next step, just remember the ones that walked this sacred land before. Chari mara, daraga pemal. Kawi maria pemal na galarigi babona. Panaim na waranang. Nai desi guy. Gaya na gama di yadalang. Na galaringi tiari, na galaringi na gami guy. Kuyu within garago na gal dago na gal. Dala lawi muka kat bala na gami. Tisla lawi ni tremi go na gal. Yami tiari na galaringi ora jomana. Mitiga garang barak ninda daraga pemal. Didri go. This is Dardic land, the land of our ancestors. The spirits still walk among us. We welcome you to Dardic lands. Thank you, and have a lovely day.